Okay, just to give you some idea, we're down here in the southwest of the UK, in the county of Devon. And this is a closer view. Up here we have Exeter. This is the River Exe coming down here. We've got Exmouth over here, Dawlish here. And this little bit jutting out here is the nature reserve known as Dawlish Warren. Well, here we are. This is the start of the Dawlish Warren, or at least the main access into Dawlish Warren. As you can see, the large car park on my right, and down there the railway bridge controlled by traffic lights, and under the railway bridge is another very large car park. Not an auspicious start to Dawlish Warren, but it gets better, a lot better. A little bit closer, and this is the tunnel. I'll tell you a little bit more about the railway line in a minute. And here we are through the other side, and if you look to the left, there's a huge car park, and if you look to the right here, there's a fun fair. Again, not a particularly good start to a beautiful nature reserve. Now we've gone a couple of 100 yards further into the site. We're looking back at the fun fair. Panning left, there's the railway line with some old railway coaches. Now we're looking down the coast path towards Dawlish rather than Dawlish Warren. The sea's a bit wild today. Let's go right round. That's the path going out onto the Warren itself. And there's a load of cafes and entertainment places which you have to get past to get out onto the Warren proper. Now it's a November day. It's overcast, as you can see, and it's quite chilly. They say later on the forecast the temperature might reach double figures. I suspect that'll only be 10. At the moment it's nearer 5 or 6 with a chill wind coming with the sea, but it's good to be out. Now the railway we spoke about is the main line into the West Country, the only line into the West Country. It runs from Exeter right along the coast here through Dawlish and Teignmouth and heads right on down to Plymouth, Truro and then Penzance. So quite a number of high-speed trains, some of them running from as far afield as London, Manchester, Edinburgh, and there's one I know goes right the way up to Aberdeen. The railway is Brunel's railway, and he originally designed it as an atmospheric railway driven by the pressure of air in cylinders, but having laid the first part of it, the valves were made of leather, and the rats ate the leather, the valves failed, and the experiment of the atmospheric railway was put to one side and converted to a traditional steam line. It remains the only access into the southwest by rail. We're a few hundred yards further on. We're leaving behind all the entertainment, a few beach huts on my left. As you can see, the sea is a bit angry today, but you can see the Warren stretching out in front of you, and probably in the distance you can see across the Exe estuary to Exmouth. We'll walk on a little bit further. The tide's right up today, usually a lot further out. We've even got a few surfers in the water. The surf looks a bit broken. And of course there's nobody around, we're out of season, and of course it's COVID lockdown. So only those taking a bit of exercise can be here. Looking inland now across the Warren, across what basically sand dunes with the wild grass growing on them. We'll work our way around there in due course. We're taking the path now above the beach. You can make your way along the beach, but let's just follow the dunes path for the moment. Board here giving you details of the Warren National Nature Reserve, and then a pleasant, slightly sheltered path along the top of the dunes here. The sea is on my right. Well, the path has taken a right now and taking us with some steps down onto the beach. Unfortunately, although it's high tide, it's still passable. dunes on our left. In places, of course, the dunes are collapsing into the sea here. They've actually fenced them off to stop you climbing them. But in other places, the dunes will be accumulating. We've climbed up onto the dunes on the left now. I'm just going to give you a shot of the dunes. Beautiful on a clear day, a little bit misty today. Panning right round. And there in the distance you may be able to see Exmouth. Looking across there, we're now coming across to Exmouth, just directly across the estuary. You can always certainly see the wire hotels on the front there. So we're getting towards the end of the Dawlish Warren. We've walked about a mile and a half along the beach, and then we'll go around the end, and I'm hoping there'll be a path back down the other side. Right, we seem to be at the end of the Warren now. Again, looking directly across the estuary. Now back the way we've walked. And it's just so peaceful. There's one or two hardy walkers out, one or two dog walkers out, but almost nobody out here. And it's a pure delight to be here. Well, we've rounded the headland now. We're now looking up the Exe River. There's a little sheltered spot here where all the boats are, and it's quite a difference in the wind as well. We're now well away from the wind that was coming off the sea, and it's quite a few degrees warmer. Just past a sign saying take care with the bird roost above in front. And that was one mass of birds. They seem to have gone off. You can see a few still resting there. Really is a beautiful nature reserve. Now we're heading back across the dunes. Some sort of path here. And hopefully we can find our way back to the main entrance. It's all very pleasant here. Couldn't get right around the very far end, as it is a bird reserve. A lot of birds just standing around doing what birds do. So let's give you a panorama of this. And you're on your own out here, although I did get a glimpse of a bird hiding in the dunes in his camouflage gear, trying to get pictures of them. I guess it's each to their own. But, here we are. Well, we're heading back along the beach the way we came. There are some walks up on the dunes, but there's not a way through to make a complete loop. It's all fenced off with various nature reserves, bird areas and so forth. It's a shame really, because a circular walk would have been very nice. But here we are, we're back along the same old beach, and even this looks pretty good to me. The sea's still wild, the sky's still grey, and we've got the whole thing to ourselves. We've got back up on the dunes now, rather than following the same beach back. take you a little bit along here. Very pleasant, very nice. Well guys, we've reached the end. The walk has been about 3.5 miles, so nothing too strenuous, and